Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Before we get started, here goes the EWP ripping off the Daily Morning News Show. I'm going to take a page out of John Smith's book here. Pro tip for everybody, okay? Catching a softball or a baseball, you always teach you to catch with two hands. You have to be careful because if you catch a line drive with your dominant hand, with your throwing hand, that's what happens. Okay, so pro tip, be careful doing that because this leads to a lot bigger and worse things. Now, I am right-handed. This is my right hand. I do everything with my right hand. My right middle finger is a very big, important part of apparently my daily routine, which I didn't know about. I want everybody to try this when they get a second because I've had to do this for the past 2 days, and it is awkward as hell. Try this. Ready? Wipe your ass with your opposite hand. It is the most awkward thing you could possibly ever do in your entire life, all because I tried to catch a ball with two hands. Has anybody ever tried that before? My whole body cracked when I went to the left. It was really awkward. Anyway, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Let's get to the reason why we're here. First things first, we already got our first comment in. Paradox Rob, welcome to the Paradox. Thank you for greetings from the Paradox. Welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast, Rod. Or Paradox Pod. I thought it was Rod. Excuse me. Thank you for joining our show. Definitely hit me up. Maybe we can check you out at some point, too, if the pod actually stands for podcast. With us, as always, we have our band of merry men with us. Below me is our first ever pro wrestling pickup champion, the living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today, pal?
Good. Good evening to you all. Good to be back. Always a fun time.
All right, James Wheeler's already cracking jokes on The Miz. I'm not liking this already, James. Back off. We'll get to The Miz and Morrison's nut shot in a second. John Smith, how are things in your end today? The sun's shining bright. I see behind you in Jersey.
Yeah, everything's good over here. I've never tried to do that left-handed wipe myself. I think I'd rather just get in the shower.
Yeah, yes, I showered before the show tonight, so you won't be seeing me like switching around like this on my chair throughout the episode. We're joined at the beginning of the show with Minutes to Bell Time with Ryan Joy. We'll get to the reason why you're on the beginning in a second, but Ryan, how are things going from your end today down on the Treasure Coast of the Sunshine State?
Yeah, things are good, and I don't have the problem that you have, thankfully. And Paradox Pod are also folks that cover CCW like I do on the morning show. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Oh, perfect. Yes. CC Dub.
There you go.
CC Dub. So on today's episode, Braun Strowman fights his way into the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania Backlash. Karrion Kross and Kyle O'Reilly looks like they're on a collision course. Darby Allin with another successful TNT Championship defense on AEW. Gary Mehaffy is with us. You will see him in the next segment here to discuss the NXT UK and the return of Mustache Mountain. They're back together again, boys. There you go. Hey, that's what it is. Big strong boy. Ryan Joy, as you can see, he's on screen with us. He'll be back later in the show after the segment to discuss. I guess there's a huge weekend of New Japan and a ton of title matches, so we'll definitely get to that. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows. The picks you will see and the statistics are presented by Ryan Joy and MinutesToBellTime.com. And as always, the picks are sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. All right, we are going to main event the show with two huge championship matches on Friday Night SmackDown. I think this is the first time we're ever going to main event the Essential Wrestling Podcast with SmackDown. So get excited about that. But we're going to curtain jerk the show with the historic pay-per-view that Impact Wrestling put on this past Sunday. It was called Rebellion. Now, Jersey didn't really have a great showing on this specific pay-per-view. We'll get to them in a second, but history was made. And Ryan Joy, that is why you're on the screen right now with us as our senior AEW correspondent. You are now in possession of Impact Wrestling's World Championship.
Well, our guy Kenny Omega, he's got the AAA Championship, he's got the AEW Championship, he's got the Impact Championship, he's got the TNA Championship. They had multiple referees, Aubrey Edwards and Brian Hebner. Everybody was out there to make sure it was official. It was a good, clean victory. Rich Swann took about 37 and a half V-triggers in the last 3 minutes of the match. He was completely spent and done, but it was the one-winged angel that ultimately got Omega the championships, because, he's walking around. He's Kenny Four Belts now.
Kenny Four Belts. There you go, Ryan Joel. Director's right to you. James Wheeler, which one's he going to lose first?
Lose first? Oh, now that's not the question anybody's been asking. That's interesting. I'm going to say it's going to be the AEW World Championship first, because as long as he's holding that belt, I don't think Tony Khan will let him lose any other belt.
Wow. Hot take. Just real quick. The V triggers at the end when Rich was trying to crawl himself up and Eddie Edwards is in his face, like, come on, like, that was perfect having Willie and Eddie at ringside, as long as the Good Brothers, and then that V trigger, boom, and Eddie just crumbled, like, damn it, there it goes. And yeah, that was great. Nice little additions there. Scott D'Amore was there, like you said, and Jerry Lane along with Tony Khan. Shout out to Rich Swann, though. You know what? Kenny Omega is going to be Kenny Omega in this, and that's fine. 17 million star performance, as usual. They specifically chose Rich Swann for this, and he shined. So Rich Swann, he was already up here for me. He got bumped up a ton in my book. He put on a phenomenal show. I watched it with John Smith, and the entire match, like, he is the smoothest freaking wrestler that's on the planet right now. Everything is just so fluid with what he does. And it's, you know what, you see that. Rich Swann, like the cruiserweight guy, the guy that lost to, Neville way back when, he's so much more than that. And it's, now shout out to Rich Swann. So, Kenny Omega with the one-winged angel becomes, this number seems a little low to me. The 29th Impact World Champion in that company's history. Now, that does not include the original TNA days. The NWA TNA days. The NWA eventually took their belt back, and Kurt Angle was actually crowned the first ever Impact World Champion. But that was still in like 2006, I think, or 7, like somewhere in that area. So only 29 guys have held it. So Kenny Omega becomes the 29th. So going back, we got 2 more comments. People chiming in. Kenny Omega. And here we go. Anyone misses Impact Wrestling being called TNA?
I still call it that.
Yeah, we still do. Yeah, I think it's just force of habit right now. It's old habits die hard. Certain thoughts on fans being scared of Kenny Omega. I know nothing about this. Brian Joy.
Well, I don't know what he's referring to, but I could see a situation where fans might be afraid that Kenny Omega will just continue to collect all these belts and and they'll put too much emphasis on him, and everybody else will take sort of a major back seat. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think this is going to be good for wrestling overall.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm definitely not scared of Kenny Omega because he's going to put me over in a huge way. We're going to have a 20-minute match. It's going to be 10 stars. He's going to make me look great. So no, I'm not scared of Kenny Omega at all. Bring it, Kenny.
Winnipeg, wrestling capital of the world. Did you know that?
That's why the John DeConnie, the Knockouts Championship was also on the line. This was the one match that Jersey got it done. I said it in my little prediction from last week. The only wrench that could have happened in this was Sue Young, and she didn't show up. So Deanna got it done. Tennille almost had it, though. It was...
Yeah, Tennille made a good showing. They almost went 10 minutes. It was back and forth. You had your normal build where, Deanna didn't, control the whole match. But in the end, it was a Queen's Gambit, which I have a problem with, but it was the crotch pile driver, as you like to refer to. And no longer the Cosa Nostra, the Queen's Gambit for the win. And then afterwards, Deonna, Kimberly, and Susan immediately went on to just beat the holy hell out of Tenille for a couple of minutes. And Taylor Wilde reemerged, made the save, cleared the ring. And I guess we see, not that there was much of a choice, but we see where Deonna is headed next.
Yeah, like I said, Tenille, you saw when, the match started, Tenille told Caleb, all right, like, get down. Like, I need to be serious right now. Like, she took this 100% serious. And if you watched, Emma back, especially in NXT, when she was running around with Dana Brooke, like, Tenille Dashwood can go with the best of them. She had a takeover match with Asuka, I believe, over in London. The takeover London, that was absolutely incredible. So great match with both. I'm proud of the great job with the Knockouts division. Again, they just continue to shine. John Smith, Impact had their chance to get the tag titles back home, and there they go ripping off Raw.
Yeah, ripping off Raw with the schoolboy roll up. No, with the small package. The match itself was good, but I don't understand what they're doing with now they have no tag team titles, they have no world title, they have no other world title that was only a title for like 2 minutes. I mean, what are we doing with FinJuice? Are they going back to Japan with those belts again? Are we gonna just have Josh Alexander be our main champion on Impact moving forward? I don't see what they're doing here. I thought it was a lot for the Good Brothers to win this match.
I believe somebody threw out a bold prediction for Thursday that they will lose to Chris Sabin and James Storm. So to be continued, there's nothing announced for this Thursday on Impact. And I'm an idiot, so here I am thinking like I'm this genius, came up with this huge thing for FinJuice to win and then just drop them next time. NXT just did that with the Cruiserweight title. So here I am thinking I'm coming up with this original idea, and Hunter did it about 2 weeks ago. And that's where I got it from subconsciously. But yeah, no, I got him. I just don't think they were trying to give it back to the Good Brothers. They finished that now. Whoever they fight on Thursday or the next time, the Good Brothers are going to get involved, cost FinJuice the tag titles, and then we're going to have new champs going forward that way. That's how I'm looking at it. John DeConnie, the show kickstarted with John Smith, the top-ranking male champion in the company right now.
Yeah, and I hope you didn't blink. I mean, this match went almost 11 minutes, but there was really no respite. There was, they did not take it easy. Yeah, let's please bring Samoa Joe back. I'm sorry. In terms of this X Division title match, it was everything you want out of the X Division. It was Josh Alexander, it was TJP, it was Ace Austin flying all over the place. TJP locking guys up in submissions and whatnot. Each man hit their finish. We got a Mamba Splash, we got the fold, we got divine intervention. And each guy was not kicked out of. Each time somebody had to break up the pin. So we got 3 false finishes at least. And then it went on to TJP taking out Madman Fulton on the outside. That left Ace alone with Josh Alexander, who hit divine intervention a second time on Ace to get the 1, 2, 3 and new champion.
Yeah, and then it's in the X Division Championship. That was the one title from the old NWA that when it started in 2002. The X Division Championship, that's the one that stayed. And then Josh Alexander just joined the long list. He's number 47. He's the 47th. Samoa Joe on that list. If you look at that list of X Division champions, there are some names on that list. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Kurt Angle. The list. They said the list goes on and on. 47 of them. In a match that was right after that, there was an 8-man tag team match. Violent by Design. They defeated the team of Eddie Edwards, Willie Mack, James Storm, and Chris Sabin. Some guy named W. Morrissey out of nowhere shows up and gets the job done, substitutes in for Eric Young. Eric Young, I guess this is the point where he got his surgery. He sat this one out. He was at on a chair at the top of the stage directing traffic. And yeah, Big Cass, real quick. Ryan Joy, are you happy to see Big Cass?
Man, he's the realest guy in the room, right?
There you go. You can't teach that, John Smith.
Yeah.
I love seeing him back. He's got like an intensity about him. He reminds me of like what Drew McIntyre did. He left WWE. I mean, he didn't spend nearly as much time in WWE as Drew did, but he left. He like kind of found himself. He cleaned up his look. He got bigger. He lost that little muffin top he had going around the sides, and he looks like he's on a mission.
Yeah, John the Connie, happy as he can. Yeah, he did some sit-ups while he was gone.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that would be, if you had any issue with him in WWE, it was that he was a big man who didn't necessarily perform like a big man. He actually had a couple of awkward matches, I remember, during their tag run there, where, you know, you expected him to hit a power move and he would kind of stumble over to whatnot. You know, his strength was definitely not there for what you expect from a guy who's about 6'6". Well, he came back all yoked up, nice and cut, and it looks like he has solved those issues. So good to see him.
It was good. Glad to see him back. Like I said, he had some issues, you know, backstage, the whole Carmel thing. You know, this is how rumors get started. I'm not trying to spread any here. Just going by what I heard. You know, him and Karl, he just never took the breakup, I guess, well with Carmella. But happy to be back. You know, that was years ago. He's a different guy then than he is now, and you know, hopefully he stays in Violent by Design. That's great. In another match where Jersey lost their titles, Ryan Joy. How did Rachel Ellering do for you?
What was your question? How did what?
How did Rachel Ellering do for you?
Oh man, Rachel Ellering, great. I mean, so it wasn't a surprise. You know, we were thinking for a couple of weeks that we were going to get a surprise partner for Jordan, but they announced it on Thursday before that it was going to be Rachel Ellering. Tasha Steelz took a real nasty bump during this match when she got thrown over the top. She hit that apron really hard, but ultimately, Rachel Ellering used what I can only best describe, and John DeConnie will agree with me, as a fisherman's power bomb for the pinfall victory. Yeah,
they went up like the perfect plex, and then she flipped over to land on her back. Right. Yeah, that was innovative. I'll give it that.
And the second ever knockout, well, not ever, but number 2 in this iteration.
Yeah, and that's right. Number 11 overall. There was 9 before this. You know, that 400-day reign of Eric Young and somebody. That was the last.
ODB, right?
It took them 400 days to realize Eric Young was a man. John Smith, Long Island exploded. Tyler's head exploded during this match. That's why he's not here right now. I know you picked Matt Cardona, but I believe that you're trying to find some kind of loophole in the scoring system here.
Well, if I had known he was going to get hurt, then I wouldn't have picked him. So that match doesn't count. All right. That's stricken off my record. And not to mention the ref threw up the X. So right then the match was called off. It was a no contest.
Brian Myers continued after the X was called up. He hit him with the roster cut, got the pin, so it went from Brian Myers. And then in the last man standing match, Trey Miguel got the win. Playing a little funny, Trey Miguel. They put the stairs on him, but there's the back of the stairs is open, got under the ring, and then he ended up hitting a flying cutter through a table that kept down for 10. So that was fun. So we're gonna real quick before we bring up the standings. Gary, I think Gary looks like he's ready to come on here. We're gonna bring in Gary Mehaffy, mostly known as our senior UK NXT UK correspondent, but as Gary's going to prove right now, he is not a one-trick pony, as he is now the official leader of not only the Impact standings, right there, the Impact specific standings, but he is now, because this is show 1, he is in the lead. So we got the leaders right now overseas here, boys. Gary, you got 3 points ahead of John Smith, and that was due to Finjuice. What was the thought process on picking Finjuice?
I just had a feeling in my water, as to say it. Just with them coming across, I'm a big fan of them both, and just thought that this would be how it would go. But as I say, I've popped up the top quicker than Matt Cardona's kneecap, and I'm just thinking, I'm here to stay. I've shown Jordan Devlin how Irish people should climb the ladder to success, and finally we've got one over on John Smith. So thank you very much.
Hey, but this is just we're going to end the exact same way that Santos and Devlin ended, with me on top.
Hey, if it ends with you on top, big boy, that's okay. But it's like, no, that's whatever floats your boat. But right, I'm there to stay.
We're going to give you 3 guys a break. We're going to keep Gary on for NXT UK. Our winner, first place right here. I forgot to put up the Rebellion graph. Ah, well, there we go. We'll put it up for the UK. Gary, officially top of the evening for you. How's everything going overseas there in beautiful Belfast, Ireland, Northern Ireland?
It's going better now. We had a slight worry when I hadn't turned up a little while beforehand. It was one of those days, and I fell asleep watching repeat series of The Big Bang Theory of all things. But yes, it's all good. Life's good.
Yeah, great show. But how do you feel, Gary? We got Mustache Mountain back. We kind of figured a couple times that, and maybe it's still coming, that Trent's going to turn on him. But right now they fought a united front. They beat Noam Dar and Shaw Samuels. That was the little feud going with the A-Kids Heritage Cup. Heritage Cup trophy. I guess that's now next for Tyler. Maybe that's what they just move on from there. And I guess the next Supernova sessions will decide where Noam's going.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, we still do think down the line it'll end up possibly that Trent Seven will turn on him, but I think it's one of those things. Unlike if this was Raw, probably next week they would split at the start of the show and then feud in the main event. Whereas this, I think, will be a slow build thing. But it was great to see them back. A good clean win over Shaw Samuels and Noam Dar. It has to be said. Obviously, I've now become Noam Dar's second biggest fan behind you, and but it's been great to see. Been great to see what they've done with them, but to have Mustache Mountain back, I've seen them live, I've watched them perform live, just immense. They are absolutely brilliant. I'm becoming more of a fan of Trent Seven. I wasn't for a long time, but every time I see him more and more, I become more of a fan.
Yeah, I am as well. Is that Trent didn't win me over in the beginning, but he has been recently, especially teaming with Tyler. I didn't say maybe the tag matches are better for him because he completely won me over in the Heritage Cup tournament. The whole thing. I'm not going to bring that up again because I say it every time we mention Trent Seven. But so maybe I guess once they mention the word takeover, I feel like that's when the split's going to happen. I think that's kind of where my guess would be on when that is. That I don't know when this Heritage Cup title match is going to be, the rounds match with A-Kid and Tyler Bate, which is it's going to be match 2 for them. A-Kid got it the first time around. So in another match, Dave Mastiff. Gar, I feel like he's falling off hard here. I don't know what's going on with the Bomber. He took an L to Sam Gradwell here.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that you and I and then Ryan and I have talked about with Sam Gradwell. Has kind of was hanging about from a few years ago when they did the original UK tournament, and then has kind of proved himself this time. Now that he's come back from his injury, has proved himself, and as you say, it seems to unfortunately be Big Dave's role at the minute is to kind of put people over when they're coming up, and that's okay. It's some people's job, but again, I think that it'll end up there'll be a storyline to it, and whether it means that Mastiff goes heel at some point, because he gets frustrated with losing so many matches. But it's been great to see them give Sam Gradwell a bit of steam and a good, again, decisive victory. And coming out looking strong. He's been looking strong the last couple of months. He's really proved himself. I think he was kind of on the line of going, okay, you're here, prove yourself or else jog on. And he has really stepped up and has proved his worth to the brand.
Yeah, I'll agree with that 100%. You forgot about him because he was injured. I believe he was that entire time he was out with an ace or some kind of knee issue. And, they brought him back, and he was losing. And the match with Dragunov was great. And I think that maybe that was like, okay, we can do something now. Now you can, let the Bomber put you over. Now we'll go with it. And then maybe, so I think you got to do something with Bomber Dave Mastiff because he's just kind of in no man's land right now. On a match I'm sure you do not want to talk about, Ginny got the win over Danny Luna after a rolling Liger kick into a roll-up. Joseph Connors had a small distraction to help with that cause. And then they went to Ginny got her after. Ginny was being a B that she is. And then here comes Morgan and Andrews.
Yeah, speaking of falling asleep during match, no, I'm only joking. No, I mean, actually, as you said, the good thing is that they gave the win, and actually at the end, when you had Flash Morgan Andrews or Flash Morgan Webster, pardon me, and Mark Andrews when they came out, because they had built that stuff up with Danny Luna for a few weeks with them, you went, okay, that makes sense. And actually, for me as a fan, I watched it and went, oh, there's 3 of them, but there's only 2 on the other side. Are they going to have a 6-man? If they're going to have a 6-man, who's the other man? Who do they? And then you start to fantasy book in your head and think who might come in and what might happen. And the set might be a few weeks down the line. They might do some combinations before they get to it. But again, as I say, it was good, and it was a good, clean victory. They are putting some emphasis behind Jenny still. They're keeping her in the mix as far as the women's side of things going. So it's been effective in that way.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. 2 names came to mind. One was actually Sam Gradwell, because we were just talking about it. I know he came to mind. I think, that'd be a fun little, he's a dirtbag just as much as Connors and Ginny is. And then who was the other? Maybe Kenny Williams if he wins that match. Now, like I said, I'll bring it up right now. Amir Jordan wants Kenny Williams again. I guess Kenny Williams, and he'll do it, but it has to be a no disqualification, loser leaves NXT UK type match. So, it took Jordan a quick second, but he eventually agreed to it. So now maybe if Kenny Williams survives that, maybe he can go. And, that'll give Kenny something to do. But yeah, this isn't going to happen next week. So at least I don't think it is. I think they have 3 matches booked, and that's not one of them. So maybe 2 weeks. They really didn't put a date on this yet, Garen, unless you know otherwise.
No, haven't heard that. It was actually because I was surprised when all of a sudden it was like, oh yes, like loser leaves town, loser leaves NXT type, NXT UK match. And then I actually wondered whether Amir Jordan needed to have surgery on his shoulder or something. I don't know what the thinking is behind it. But as you say, the fact is they've built this up as a grudge match, and you did feel sympathy for Amir Jordan. You go, okay, you should get your hands on this scumbag again, character. Let's get him. So it'll be, again, you kind of one of those matches when it does happen that you think, okay, I'm interested to see what happens. So they've built it up, as they've tended to do with everything. They build it up really well. Yeah, so we're definitely going to be talking about that in the next upcoming weeks. I'm going to need your help with Teal Man. We've seen once or twice. We've covered. He actually knows that this is going to be like match 2 or 3 for him. So he's just fresh here. Yeah. Then there's Rohan Raja. He describes himself 6'1", British-born, Australian-raised, Canadian-trained. I think that was a nice little exclamation point on the end of that. He's going to be making his debut next week, and he called out Teal Man. So we got 2 pretty much kind of unknowns here. Any insight on these guys? I've never heard of Rohan Raja before. I mean, we have. I mentioned it a few months ago. He'd signed. He's the ex. He was in the Desi Hit Squad in Impact. They've signed him. It was him. He was it? Let me find his name. Yeah, Gursinder Singh in the Desi Hit Squad. He's one half of that. And I was waiting for him to debut, and I was actually surprised when I heard he was against Teal Man, because obviously if he's coming in new and you think, oh, here's the new wrestler, let's give him the big win. Yeah. But he's against Teal Man, who's only just come in, and you think he's going to get wins as well. Yeah. So actually, even though they're both new, again, if you're watching as a fan, you watch it and go, well, who's going to win? Because they both should win, or what's going to happen? So it's really interesting. And both of them, again, as you say, there was so much information on him. He was from here, there, and everywhere that you almost think. I thought he was going to come in as a heel at first, but now I'm not sure kind of how he'll be presented. So it's one of those matches that you are intrigued to see what to do with him. So yeah, just saying, you got a winner in that one. I said the match is this Thursday afternoon. It's Thursday night by you, but I guess I'm going Rohan Raja. That sounds like Rohit Raju, so I'll go with him, I guess. Yeah, because I would assume him. There's part of me thinks Teal Man, but I would say that they'll give Rohan Raja that bit of a go and see how he goes. Well, considering Desi Hit Squad, that was Rohit Raju as well, right? Wasn't he the other half of that? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Rohan all the day long. We'll go, yeah. He's friends with Rohit. He's friends with me. How about that? We'll do that. The show opened. Huge match. Joe Coffey and Eddie Dennis. Eddie Dennis once again just shows. You look at him and you prejudge him, and I'll say it's kind of unfair, but Eddie can go. Eddie Dennis. He didn't get the win. The best of the bells. I love that name. The clothesline got him.
then the bleep show started, Gar, and then that's what's going to lead us into this match. We got this upcoming Thursday. It's a 6-man tag with we got Gallus there on the right against Eddie Dennis, along with his guys T-Bone, and Primate. So Gallus, don't let that record fool you. They've been victorious on many occasions in years past. This is just their first time together in 2021. So who do you got in this one, Gar?
I'm going to controversially say that I'm going to go with Eddie Dennis in the Hunt.
Okay.
And as much as I am a big supporter of the Gallus boys on top, I was just looking at and I do think, actually, as you said, you kind of have a tendency to prejudge Eddie Dennis when you see him, and I think he's much better actually in multi-man matches. He comes across even better.
Yeah.
I just think the last time they were in a multi-man match, obviously, was the tag match against Webster and Andrews when they won. So I'm actually going to say that I'm still going to go with a bit of shenanigans, but I'm going to go with the Hunt. But it will still end up down the line with Gallus being pushed towards the top of the card again. But I'm going to go for the Hunt, taking it for now.
All right, I'll agree with you on that one. Eddie Dennis is a smart guy. He's a thinking man's heel. He'll find a way to win this. Whether it's like a shoe on the with something, from the outside while Primate or T-Bone's in the ring. But the one thing we got to point out here, and I like the fact that you actually closed this by saying Gallus is going to win this in the end, because Joe Coffey had that passing with Rampage Brown in the hallway. And he's like, yeah, dude, Walter's tough. I know, I've been there. Don't worry about it. Great showing. By the way, you still owe me a rematch. And Rampage was like, sure thing, pal, whatever. So they're going to get at it again at some point. And then the last match that I want to talk about, because I'm actually really excited for this. Effie Valkyrie, she had her video package. She's finally doing something like worth mentioning, and it's Miko Satomura. So like she's jumping in head first into the deep end here. Like this is like she's not screwing around. So this is a huge match. The Satomura, she's only lost the one time that Kaylee Ray got to put over the champ. She's not there to become champ. She's there to teach and learn and whatnot. But like, is this now her job? She's gonna put everybody over, or is Effie Valkyrie? She gonna stuff it like? What are we gonna do here?
I know, because for Aoife, she's been unbeaten, obviously, and they keep putting every time you see in commentary, and you have Nigel saying all this about how long she's been unbeaten and what she's done and all this sort of stuff. And when I saw it was against Satomura, I had two initial thoughts. As you say, the first thought was, "Oh, is this Satomura's role now?" As you say, she's going to put everybody over.
Yeah.
But my second thought was almost to go, okay, this is Ava's chance to almost sink or swim and say, right, if you can't have a good match with Mako, you'll not have a good match. So it's like, have that killer match, show what you can do, show why you should be about. So I am going to say that Ava's going to take it and is going to use this as a springboard to head towards the women's title. Yeah,
I'm with you. Like she was our chosen one to be Kaylee Ray for a while now, since we started the podcast and the UK started back up. But she was always fighting in action. So now she's got a huge Japan's final boss. I love that name. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. So now, Gary, you're booking this. You got the 6-man tag, and you got the women's match. What starts the show, and what main events? Because we know Teal Man and Rohan are going to be in the middle there.
I am going to start the show. I would say start the show with Aoife and Satomura.
Okay.
And then come towards the end, because you're going to have, I would say there'll be some sort of schmoz or shenanigans to have the Hunt winning, that I would have that at the end to leave you with your cliffhanger in inverted commas coming out for the next couple of weeks.
All right, I got the other way around. I'm big on the women main event thing, so maybe we can have a gentleman's bet on this. That's something, a handshake bet for $1 Canadian. But Gary, great to see you as always. That wraps things up for us. Enjoy the show on Thursday. Enjoy your time. There's no pay-per-views this weekend. Enjoy your time in first place of the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool. Everybody, please go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com. We got to bring Gary back down to earth here. So, Gary, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
See you later, sir.
All right, so we're going to take off Gary. We're going to bring back in John Smith and John DeConti. And we're going to switch gears to Monday Night Raw from last night. Strowman and McIntyre are kind of stealing the show here. The show started with T-Bar and Mace. T-Bar and Mace going to the ring. They were supposed to have a tag team match with Drew and Braun, but they're backstage arguing, going back and forth. Who should follow who? Long story short, Braun Strowman pretty much said, "Hold my beer." And he went out and did it himself, John DeConti.
He did. So he went out there for a 2-on-1 handicap match with Mason T-Bar. But Mason T-Bar were having none of it, and they refused to, clear the ring after one tagged the other in. And they just kept beating on Braun in the corner, and that made the ref call for a DQ. So Braun Strowman starts the night 1-0, but by DQ. So that's not all that fulfilling. It was less than a 3-minute match. McIntyre comes down to make the save. He clears the ring. We go to a break. We come back, and we get the tag match we were supposed to get. And Mason T-Bar would wind up defeating Braun and Drew because we wound up outside the ring. The Strowman Express took out Mace on one side, and as he came chugging around to hit T-Bar on the other side, T-Bar just ducked out of the way of a Drew McIntyre clothesline, which led to McIntyre hitting Strowman with it. Big men not happy. This would lead to a countout. So now Braun Strowman is 1-1. This would lead to all kinds of backstage shenanigans. And forgive me for reading from my notes even more so than usual. I just want to make sure I keep all this crap, in order and as close to accurate as possible. Braun went into Pierce's office. He wanted a match with Drew. Drew wanted a match with Braun. Braun then went into Pierce's office and said, we had no choo-choo train. No, but we did have Adnan calling for, we need a bigger boat. I'm not sure how that works out with a choo-choo train, but anywho. So Drew asked for the match with Braun. Braun asked for the stipulation that if he beats Drew, he'd be added to the WrestleMania Backlash main event, where Drew is already going to be taking on Bobby Lashley for the WWE title. And Pierce was all about that. He said he was fine with it, although Lashley and MVP a little later said they weren't all that happy about it. They would, after all, that's how Lashley lost the U.S. title. He was in a 3-way dance. Somebody lost to somebody else, but he lost his gold. So he's not real happy about that. So we get to the end of the night. Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. Again, if Strowman wins, he's added to the main event at Backlash. About 2 minutes in, Lashley comes out. Him and MVP make their way to ringside. So this did not make – this whole show was a train wreck as far as I'm concerned, but especially this main event, because it's very clear that Lashley does not want Braun Strowman to win this match. He wants a one-on-one match for his title.
Yes.
But for the last 2 weeks, we've seen Mason T-Bar, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're not in the Hurt Business, but they seem to be helping Bobby and MVP out. So at one point, Lashley distracts the ref as MVP helps Drew get out of Braun's power slam because we want Drew to win. But then Mason T-Bar show up, distract Drew when he's setting up for a Claymore, and he walks right into the power slam. Braun wins, and I don't understand why.
They didn't get the memo. I have it in my note. They did not get the memo that McIntyre was supposed to win that match. So it's maybe they're not in the Hurt Business. They went rogue on that one. I have no idea. But Braun Strowman, it is now a triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash. We'll get to that in 2 weeks' time. So 2 weeks before that. Before we make our picks for that. But I think there might be another person added to that match. We'll get to that later. Sonya Deville hopped over to Raw. She's a WWE official. It's not one of those quarterly crossover things. She's a WWE official now. She went over to Raw. She let Charlotte Flair, I guess, I don't know if that was the back door, the side door, the front door, whatever. Let Charlotte Flair in when Charlotte Flair was suspended. Brought him into the ring. Charlotte apologized to the referee. The referee let it out that if he would have seen it, Charlotte would have won, the incident, whatever. So the referee apologized to Charlotte. All is fine. Suspension is lifted. Postman Pierce was not happy about that at all. Sony did not feel him in it. Now, is this the way that we get Jersey's most vicious woman back in the ring, John Licani? Is this how she's not an official, and we finally get Sonya back into the ring?
I really hope that that's where this headed, because I did not like this whole segment. Like, it's very easy to get Charlotte over as a heel, to get Charlotte over as a bitch, without her completely emasculating a referee, demanding an apology after she gets an apology, and then when she gets the apology she asked for, basically patting him on the head and saying, "Good boy."
And then hold the ropes for me.
And then demanding that he hold the ropes. Yeah, so if all this is leading up to us getting Sonya back in the ring and back cutting vicious promos on her opponents, I'm okay with it. If not, I was not a big fan of this.
John Smith, are we going to put her hair up and square up here? I've been waiting for this for months. She should have beat Mandy Rose at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to rush it though. I think they're going to give her time with this role before she ends up back in the ring. I think it's going to be, a bigger angle, something to get her from out of the office and into the ring again.
Like I said, well, she lost a match. That loser has to leave WWE. So somebody. And in this case, it's going to be Postman Pierce because she's the one that he's pissing him off. She's got to be reinstated somehow, right? I mean, I know in WWE land they can just show right back up and all is forgotten. But if you want to stick to story here, somebody's got to reinstate her. And if she's pushing Pierce's buttons intentionally, like she just did, maybe that's going to be a way. Sonya promised Charlotte a match, and who else would it be against other than Mandy Rose? I'm sure that was first on Sonya's list. Charlotte got the win via natural selection. A couple instances where she cooled, kept calm while the referee. It was the same referee. They made sure that they pointed that out, but she kept her cool. She didn't attack the referee again, whatever. Blah, blah. Moving forward, she's not suspended anymore. John DeConnie, we're going to go back to you on this one. Hey Hey Hop Hop Unplugged was interrupted. Beautiful rendition. I had memories of Kurt Cobain with Nirvana and their Unplugged set, or Eric Clapton, back in the 90s, doing their Unplugged on MTV. But Hey Hey Hop Hop Unplugged was interrupted by Damian Priest and the New Day, and they went full Fozzie Bear on them.
First of all, you're very lucky that I think my brother is working. If he heard you compare Miz and Morrison to Eric Clapton. Oh, but yes, they had a suitcase, or excuse me, a guitar case full of Rotten Tomatoes that they used to show Miz, Morrison, Elias, and Riker just how much they enjoyed their unplugged version of Hey Hey Hop Hop. And this would lead to Priest and the New Day versus Elias, Riker, and Miz with Johnny Drip Drip at ringside. And let's put it this way: this was a 3-segment angle. You had the everything leading up to the tomatoes, commercial break, come back for a match. The match was long enough to go through another commercial break. So this 3-segment popcorn fart of an angle ended properly with Woods rolling up Riker in a almost 16-minute match while everybody else brawled on the floor. And quite frankly, that was the perfect ending for this whole segment.
Yeah, Raw's going to be Raw. It's going to be a roll-up. Did you just say popcorn fart? What did you just say? Oh, my God. Going back to Sonya Deville real quick, James Wheeler's chiming in. I wonder if that will give Sonya Deville a heel corporation storyline again, like the Authority. That would be pretty fun. I like that. Anything with Sonya Deville is going to be great. She just really didn't get the chance, and when by the time she did, they had to pull her, which sucked. Imagine, because she was probably supposed to lose the hair versus hair. Imagine like a bald-headed Sonya Deville going around killing people. That would have been absolutely incredible. John Smith, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin, they had to face this brand new tag team that was formed I guess as a result of last week's altercation.
Yeah, Team RK Bro.
Bro.
Yeah, they had a little interaction backstage. Randy Orton surprisingly said that Riddle earned his respect a little bit the previous week with that Raw roll up that he succumbed to. He said that he's willing to give RK Bro a shot, and he already has a match set up. So it's against Cedric and Shelton. What's his name? Riddle. I don't know what I was about to call him. Riddle starts the match, and he can't get out of the ring for like the first 4 minutes. Randy finally gets in, House of Fire, cleans up house. He's about to do the draping DDT, and Riddle's like, bro, tag me in, bro. And Randy's all right, okay, fine. He tags him in, boom, DDT, floating bro. 1, 2, 3. I like this. I wasn't expecting it to end like this. I thought it was going to be Randy turning on him right away.
Yeah.
So I like this little chemistry they got going on. This little young whippersnapper and the old veteran kind of thing.
We have nothing in common. We're both from Earth. That was a funny segment backstage. That was good. As high as he is, he's pretty quick, Riddle, on his feet. He's quick with his answers. John Smith, I know you're big on over-unders. How many weeks is this going to really last, though? There's only a matter of time. Like, this is a month.
I'd say it lasts until the next pay-per-view, not WrestleMania Backlash, because it's not a Backlash from WrestleMania.
Well, WrestleMania Money in the Bank.
I think that this might pick up some momentum, and they could end up winning those tag belts.
Yeah, that's what James is saying. And then Ryan and Travis said this morning, too. I was like, dude, War Raiders. Like, come on. You're going to write off the War Raiders already? So you're going to call them? They're going to have a match at WrestleMania Money in the Bank? Is every show going to be called WrestleMania something now? I think we should go with that. I'm going to roll with that.
WrestleMania SummerSlam.
It'll be called Backlash Money in the Bank.
Yeah, they can keep on going with the. Yeah.
There you go.
John Smith, sticking with you. Sheamus went out there again to throw out a U.S. champion, a U.S. title, non-title open challenge.
Yeah,
he's still calling it a U.S. title open challenge, but the belt's not on the line. And here comes Humberto Carrillo. He got embarrassed last week. Here's another guy that I didn't say that back in pre-production. Every minute he spent off TV, he's been in the gym. He looks absolutely incredible. John said, I guess he got the over. My question for you is this right now? We're looking at the PWI feud of the year, Sheamus and Humberto Carrillo.
Probably not, but Sheamus is doing the best work of his career right now, especially on the mic. I love what he's doing, and then Carrillo looks way better. It looks like he's been working out with Big Cass. They've been having sit-up competitions to see who could get more ripped. This didn't turn out to be a match. Sheamus just attacked him again, beat the crap out of him for a little bit, then started jaw-jacking to the audience that's not even there, and got hit from behind by Carrillo, sent out of the ring, tries to hop back up, boom, knocked off again, tries to get back up, knocked off the apron again, then he shoots through the ropes like a freaking bullet and gets him onto the announce table, and he looks good. Whatever he's been doing, he should keep it up. I think he might be on a little bit of but he's like a house of fire, this Carrillo now. And
right. It was El Casa de Fuego, right? House of Fire. There you go. Going from one Humberto to another, ironically enough, Humberto's cousin, his name is Humberto Garza. We know him as Angel Garza, but they have the same first name of their cousins. I think that is absolutely hysterical. Angel Garza, he bought Nia Jax some flowers, which Reggie didn't like. Reggie was kind of upset by that. Ended up being a 6-woman tag team match. You got the champions on one side. You got Rio with Shayna and Nia. They defeated Asuka, Naomi, and Lana. Rhea Ripley hit Lana with the Riptide, followed by a Hogan leg drop by Nia Jax for the pin. And then we got a little moment of bliss there. Les's Playground. She played a little prank on everybody. I peed my pants a little bit. That scared me. I had a hard time sleeping last night, so that one got me. But she's saying she's probably gonna, the women better watch out. So I think little Miss Bliss might be trying to get back in the ring, and that's going to be fun because the next draft is probably not until the draft is usually when, like October. So we still have about 5 months, and the Raw's women's division is pretty stacked right now, especially if Becker's comes back. SmackDown only has the 3. They got Sasha, Bianca, and Bayley, and that's it. And then everybody else is on Raw. No disrespect to Natalya, but everybody's on Raw. So I think it'd be a nice little addition. If she has a feud with Charlotte, or if she has a feud with whoever, Rhea, that'd be fun. So going forward to NXT, the reason our show's on Tuesdays. NXT moved. I mean, we would have been late on this joke anyway. I totally had, there goes, Karl O'Reilly ripping off Orange Cat. I had that the moment it happened, but the internet's been drilling it into the ground, so I'm just going to avoid saying it. But Kyle O'Reilly in the ring, ripping off Orange Cassidy. It said Adam Cole is behind him. He's moving forward. I don't think Cole's done with him because they showed the video package of Rocky 2 where Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa were going to the hospital still yelling at each other from the fight that night. And Cole and O'Reilly did the same thing. Apollo didn't give up, so I don't think Adam Cole's going to give up either. But ended up Jonathan, you can just go from here because that was but the business. Cameron Grimes went to the business partnership, and then Kyle punched him,
so that kicked off the night, and Grimes got even more bad news along the way. So first he got Kyle O'Reilly rebuffing his offer at a business partnership. Then he got the extra bad news that he lost out on a non-fungible token or whatever the hell that was. He lost out to Ted DiBiase. So that pissed him off midway through the match. And then we wrap up the night with Kyle O'Reilly and Cameron Grimes in the ring together. Now, O'Reilly did have a stare down right before the introductions here with Karrion Kross backstage. Nothing much came of it. They just kind of crossed paths, stared into each other's eyes longingly for a few seconds. And then O'Reilly headed out to the ring.
Kross wants to teach you passion.
Yeah, Sam, they do not need Sammy's help there. There was definitely a passionate look between the two of them. But we would have Kyle O'Reilly hit a brain buster and that top turnbuckle knee drop to the back of the head for about a 13.5-minute win. It was a good match. I love watching Cameron Grimes work. I am every single time he hits that standing Spanish fly, it absolutely amazes me.
Yeah.
But in the end, Kyle got the 1-2-3 here in the win. So, but a great match between the two of them.
I kind of want to see if they keep on bringing up DiBiase, and he's coming. You feel like he's coming. You hope that you hope. I kind of want to see DiBiase teach Grimes, for a month, mentor him.
Yeah.
I'm almost referring to John Smith, WrestleMania 18, the whole Christian and Diamond Dallas Page feud, where Page was his mentor, and then one good thing happened to Christian, and he turned on Page right away and screwed. I don't need you anymore. I'm done. I want it to be like that. You have a small. This is how you got to kick the basketball away. This is how you got to get somebody to kiss your foot. And then once Grimes does it correctly once, that's where the swear about DiBiase, I don't need you anymore. So that's kind of where I'm hoping they go with that. That'd be a lot of fun. John Smith, we got some facts here, and these are not opinions. These are just facts of life. LA Knight got the win over. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Got the win over Dexter Lumis. There was a lot going on here that happened that stemmed from that 8-person tag match the week before with Little Miss Indy.
Yeah, the victory wasn't really the story of the match there. It was more about Indy Hartwell in the audience, or not in the audience, but on the other side of the glass. Loomis gets knocked out of the ring at some point during the match, and he looks and he sees her, and they got the glass between them, so they both start shuffling. And they start shuffling away so the glass isn't there anymore. Then she trips and falls. She stands back up, and they're looking at each other, and then he gets hit from behind by Knight. LA Knight throws him in. She gets up on the ring apron at one point. They're about to kiss later in the match, her and Loomis. And then that spelled the end. And Loomis was hit from behind, got pinned, and then that was that. So we still didn't get what we want. We didn't get the kiss heard around the world that we've been waiting for.
No, we haven't. Mom, dad, and older brother are not a fan of the young teenage daughter's rebellious stature right now.
Yes.
James Wheeler chimed in, John Smith. If you want to bring back Tegan Knox, she's the one that stops the way so that Indy and Dexter can finally be together. How about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we just need Tegan Knox back. Come back, please.
Yeah, I know.
Anything will do.
So then they went on later. So Candice went to go pick a fight with the tag champions, Shopper Moonheart. And Indy got sidetracked by Dexter again. Candice went in alone, thinking she's got backup. She ends up getting her ass kicked. And, now Candice is taking the brunt of this. Good news is that actually Indy went with Regal. They did they are getting another tag team championship match at some point. They didn't say when. But we do have a match with the Way family here going into tonight, actually. That's right. They own the night tonight. Austin Theory went rogue on the Way, and Johnny's not happy with this. So if Bronson Reed can beat Austin Theory, then he gets a rematch against Johnny Gargano, which is, again, Papa John. Papa John is not happy with this at all. So, John Smith, as our senior NXT correspondent, who you got?
Well, this Papa John is not happy with this at all either because Bronson Reed already lost. He had his shot, but I got Bronson Reed winning it. Hopefully he doesn't take that title home, though.
John DeConnie.
I'm going to say that Gargano is every time somebody goes to Regal, he flips out. What do you mean you're talking to Regal? Why are you talking to Regal?
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's so invested in making sure that Theory does not lose this match because he's clearly not very confident in it. If you paid attention to what he had to say last week, I'm hoping there's some kind of skullduggery involved. He gets involved somehow and make sure Theory takes down Bronson Reed. So I'm going to go with Austin Theory.
All right, I'm going to go Bronson Reed as well. I like that. Johnny's got his hand. He's going to have his hands deep in this. I think the ref's going to toss him, though. I think he's going to get involved too early, too soon, too much, and the ref's going to – you're out. But at least I guess it opens the door for Candice to help. Maybe she can get involved as well. So, I think this has got Tsunami. I can't even remember how Barrett pronounces it. Tsunami Splash.
Tsunami.
So we got our debut last week. Good call by John Smith. Zoe Stark was Sarray, Bacho Dan Lux's first opponent. I was corrected a couple of weeks ago. I made a joke, the EO of Phantasma. Apparently Ryan Joy corrected me with, EO, it means the sun. So I guess Sarray is going to be the warrior of the Iho, is her name, I guess, in Spanish going forward. So is the warrior of the Iho, Sarray. She got the win over Zoe Stark with a Saito suplex. Real quick question for the both of you. Sarray and Zoe Storm, John Smith, future NXT TakeOver Women's Championship match. In like 3 years. 2 years, 3 years.
Zoe Stark versus Sarray? No.
Now? John DeConnie?
No, that will not be an NXT Championship match. No.
Okay. John DeConnie?
Before John is usually dead on when it comes to the thinking in NXT, so I'll side with him. But it's certainly possible, and I think it would be a lot sooner than 3 years. Also,
yeah, I think 3 years is a long shot. Maybe like 2. Yeah, I think Sarray is going to be in the title picture within the year. Zoe, I think, Zoe's got a problem because Tony Stark. I did it again. Tony Storm. Tony Storm jumped Zoe. Tony's still not happy about the loss she took to Zoe Stark on the TakeOver pre-show. So that's going to be going forward. So nice that those, Tony's got a nice little feud going. Zoe Stark's involved now. She's not in action anymore. So good for her.
I say that mostly I say that match isn't going to happen as a championship match because I think Zoe Stark's going to get called up pretty quickly.
Okay.
I think Vince is going to really like her and he's going to call her up, and I don't think Triple H has any plans to put that strap on her anytime soon. So he's just going to say, "Okay, you can have her."
He said it funny. Yeah, I like it.
Strap on.
Gladiators music. Mercedes Martinez promo trying to throw a wrench in Raquel's and Dakota's friendship, which we all know. This is Shawn Michaels and Diesel, 1995. It's going to happen eventually. I don't think it's going to happen soon though. But she's going to take out Dakota first, and then Raquel will be all hers. I don't think. I know. Mercedes, I don't think the breakup's going to happen on its own. But I guess in the meantime, they got the match. So tonight we're going to have Dakota Kai going against Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes, like I said, he wants to take her out, and then Raquel will be all hers for the taking. So, John DeConnie, are you going to give Dakota a shot here?
She's got a shot, but I think Mercedes takes this. I think it's just And hey, why not let this be where Tegan shows back up and takes out Dakota?
There you go, John Smith.
Yeah, give me Raquel or not Raquel.
Mercedes,
yeah.
Raquel 2.0.
Yeah, no, my phone was ringing. Sorry, I got distracted.
Mercedes Martinez has been around a lot longer than Raquel Gonzalez.
I'm just playing around.
I get
on
the joke,
Earth,
but
yeah, not in NXT.
Mercedes she's like a 20-year vet, and she's got a hell of a story. Like, she had to raise 3 kids on her own. She wrestled part-time, and she had a real giant. She has an amazing story. If anyone ever dives deep into it. Speaking of NXT Women's Champions, former champions, Io Shirai sat down with Beck Phoenix. Gonna take a break and then get a potential rematch with Raquel. And then this vicious animal that was drooling and she was ready to attack Io Shirai, this rabid dog. It was I don't know if it was a pit bull or a German. I don't know what kind of dog this is. But then Frankie Monet finally calmed it down. They kind of like the Avengers when they calmed down the Incredible Hulk. The sun is setting, I believe was the phrase. But then I guess they had an argument between cats and dogs. So it looks like Frankie Monet and Io Shirai, they're going to be getting at it soon before Io goes back for the Women's Championship. I know Ryan Joy's been having a lot of fun with the feud as old as time, I believe, between cats and dogs. I want to say that I am probably the only cat person in this screen right now. John,
I don't like cats or dogs.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go.
Team Doggy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me. I know Alf likes cats, but he likes them for the wrong reasons. So that's really.
I'm on Team Doggy. Okay.
No.
Let's just get that straight.
Zongo's tribute to Gary Mehaffy before their match with Grizzled Young Veterans was absolutely incredible. Grizzled Young Veterans, they got the win over Zongo after a ticket to Mayhem. Imperium defeated Everrise, John Smith.
Everrise rules!
After a European uppercut, powerbomb finisher combo that they do. Dane tried to confront Alexander Wolf during the match, but Maverick wanted to fight. He was the little barking dog in that one that had to be held back. It seems like Wolf and Dane still they're going to try to talk things out. Former Sanity members before I guess they eventually get at it. We got 2 more things to go for tonight. First things first, Adam Cole will be there. He's got an interview. Like I said, I don't think he's done with Kyle O'Reilly yet. The Rocky 2 just this will be the second time that Hunter's ripped off Rocky. So it wouldn't shock me at all if Adam Cole goes right back after KOR. And then Kushida must hate Zach Gibson. He's actually going no shoes as Cruiserweight champion. He's going like UFC style. So he had an open challenge. I thought it was only fair. I got this through an open challenge. I'm going to repay it by here. And here comes Oney Lorcan, and huge smile on my face. That match was incredible. We won't go into too much detail about it because actually what came out of it, Legato's not done. Santos Escobar is not done. He wants his Cruiserweight Championship back. As we know, Joaquin and Raul, they have a thing going with MSK. So there's going to be a 6-man tag team match tonight, John Smith. So who do you got in this, and what did you think of Kushida's first title defense?
First title defense was great. How do you go? How do you not like an Oni Lorcan match? Honestly,
Exactly.
The guy beat Karrion Kross and Finn Balor in a handicap match. He'll always have that.
What's more impressive, Chris Jericho beating The Rock and Austin in consecutive matches, or Oni Lorcan defeating Finn Balor and Karrion Kross in the same match?
I got to go with Oni, considering his status compared to the other two.
Yeah, there you go. It's Oni. Correct answer. Who do you got on the 6-man?
I got Legado winning this one.
All right, that's the unit. John DeConnie.
Give me the faces. Give me MSK and Kushida just because.
Yeah, we got champions versus challengers here. You got to feel like one of the champions takes a pinfall that kind of locks in a title shot for the person who pins them. Unless like Escobar pins, Nash Carter or something, just random. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the champs on this one. Well, might as well. So, gentlemen, that'll do it for NXT. We are going to bid you adieu for just a little bit. We still have a lot to talk about with you guys. We're going to bring in Ryan Joy from MinutesToBellTime.com. Ryan, great to have you back on screen. I know we spoke earlier. How are things? Did you enjoy your time with your loved ones? Did you grab some groceries, more importantly?
Some water. I have to hydrate and make sure I'm good to go for the whole show here.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been noticing or not. I've been drinking from a bottle tonight. I completely forgot. I've been off for 2 weeks. I'm going to leave. I'm going to owe producer Joe some push-ups here. So I believe I'm going to have to take care of that at some point. But Ryan, you sent me a graphic. There's a ton of title matches. There's a ton of dates coming up. There's a lot going on. I know you and Travis talked about it this morning, but for those of you who don't wake up till noon and missed your show,
first and foremost, watch the replay.
Yeah, I watched the replay. There you go.
Second,
what do we got going on here?
So here's your number the second time.
So what do we got going on here in this? All right, so we got day one, which is what date here? We got the 28th.
Yeah, so New Japan just has a whole lot going on starting tomorrow and going pretty much all the way to the end of the month. And tomorrow, basically the way New Japan runs their schedules is they always have like 2 featured matches and then a bunch of supporting matches. So what I've done here on this graphic is it's the main matches for the next between this show and the next EWP. So starting tomorrow, this is like 5:30 in the morning. The KOPW Provisional Championship is on the line. Yano will be defending against Evil. The stipulation in this match is that you cannot win the match. A pinfall cannot occur until your opponent is blindfolded. There will be blindfold on each of the corner posts. So that's what Yano is doing there. So really weird stipulation, but that's Yano. Same day, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships will be on the line with Sho and Yo defending against Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado. They're the former champions. So by the way, I'm going to say Yano is going to keep his provisional title. That's my pick there. And then below on the junior tag titles, Sho and Yo I think will retain there. It's their first defense, so I like them for a retention. And then
this is why I don't like betting against Toru Yano, but yeah, Sho and Yo. When I saw them the last year for the first time in a while, they just impressed the hell out of me. There's other guys. There's other 2 guys that just don't miss doing sit-ups. They don't miss sit-up day.
No, they don't. Very, very impressive abs. Which, speaking of which, on Thursday, the 29th, there's basically 2 featured tag matches. Now, there's no titles on the line here, but Kota Ibushi is the former IWGP champion. He just lost it to Will Ospreay. This is the only match, which is notable, only match that he's going to wrestle for like 6 weeks. So he's nursing some injuries and stuff and trying to battle back. But he will team with Tanahashi, his partner, and they'll face Jeff Cobb and Aaron Hanare, who is the newest member of the Empire. And then in the main that night, it'll be Naito and Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay and Great-O-Khan. So that's that. And then next week, Monday and Tuesday, we've got 2 big shows. And Al, you're going to like some of this stuff too. Wait till you get to hear some of this. So
I read it before. I'm loving this. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first match on May 3rd, the first notable match is the Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tonga Loa. It's a straight singles match. If Sabre wins, then God will give them a title shot. The second match is a ladder match. It's an Iron Finger from Hell ladder match.
Yeah, that one confused me. What do we got? What is that?
The Iron Fingers from Hell it's like a device that you put over your hand, kind of like brass knucks, but it covers the entire hand. And and so it's a weapon, but it has sort of supernatural powers to it, so that the person who gets it goes a little crazy. So this is an object that has been handed down over time. So the person who I originally saw wearing it has actually retired, and they handed it off to Tai Chi. So then the God stole it from him. So now they're having this big battle over who has possession of the Iron Finger from Hell. And that will be decided in a ladder match between Tai Chi and Tama Tonga.
This sounds like something Lucha Underground would do. I think they had a power glove. I think that Brian Cage won back in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, it's very Impact, as I would say.
Yeah, it's Impact. I can see doing this too. Yeah.
And then what should be a very good match. The main event on Monday morning is Never Openweight Championship between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jay White. I like Tanahashi to retain here. Travis will, of course, pick Jay White to win. But
yeah, Jay White, you're my best friend. I saw that picture. Yeah,
that's right. Travis met Jay White over WrestleMania weekend, and then the big show. May 4th, that's Tuesday, this time next week, but in the morning. You have the Junior Heavyweight Championship is going to be decided. El Desperado defending against Yo. And then the main event will be Will Ospreay's first defense of the IWGP World Championship Butterfly Belt against Shingo Takagi. These guys have a rich history of great matches. And this one should be no different. They meet up in the G1. They've met up in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. I think they probably even met in the G1. This should be a great match, and I will pick Will Ospreay to win because it's his first defense. But the real story here is end of the month. We have a Tokyo Dome show, and Will Ospreay or Shingo, whoever is the champion going in, is facing Okada in that Tokyo Dome. So that's a real big match at the end of the month, assuming Tokyo comes out of lockdown, because right now New Japan canceled 3 shows next week that were supposed to be in Tokyo at Cork and Hall because Tokyo is currently under lockdown. So hopefully they get past that and we can have our Tokyo Dome show and all will be right with the world.
Yeah, sounds good. And it's at New Japan. I just wish I get up pretty early, but I don't know how.
I know it's tough.
You're a very committed man, and that's why we love you, and that's why we have you on for this segment. I know Travis is that committed as well, but then again, Travis probably isn't staying up to 11 o'clock to watch Raw on Monday nights either. So, I guess you pick and choose the federations that you want to watch. Like I said, I love the New Japan. Like I said, LIJ's got a match. I saw Naito's name along with Takagi. So
there's enough great wrestling where nobody has to watch something they don't like.
Exactly.
Pick what you like.
If you don't like it, turn it off.
Love it.
If you don't like it, turn it off. That's it. So we're going to bring back in John Smith and John DeConnie. Let's get these guys up here real quick. We got the ticker going. We got to get the nameplates off. So we have All Elite Wrestling. They had 2 huge championship matches last Wednesday night. They own that night now. Did you know, Ryan? I know you're not a big NHL guy, Ryan. Did you know that the National Hockey League signed a huge television contract with Turner Sports?
I covered on the Daily Wrestling News show that NBC did not sign that contract, but I did not cover who did sign that contract. So that'll be on tomorrow's show.
Yeah, all right.
John DeConnie will be hosting with me alongside.
All right, well there you go. Just make sure not only you're going to see the NHL on the Mouse's network, you're going to see him on Billionaire Ted's too. So, Ryan, speaking of Billionaire Ted and his network and TNT. Darby Allin, the current TNT champion, another impressive, successful title defense against a very worthy challenger. That a lot of you, I'll give you guys. Jungle Boy's great. I'm a little shocked that you guys gave him as much of a chance to win as.
Well, I will say there was 4 of us on the show last week. All of us went around. All of us picked Darby Allin to win.
Yeah.
But we all said, but we wouldn't be surprised if Jungle Boy did. So we all picked Darby correctly. But, it's like we said last week, though. Darby had this Falls Count Anywhere hardcore match 2 weeks ago. This was a completely different match. It was a wrestling match. And Jungle Boy, to his credit, he had Darby dead to rights a couple of times. He had him in the snare trap a couple of times. Darby managed to get out, and eventually Darby Allin uses for one of his signature moves when he's not using the coffin drop. He uses the Last Supper. Mm-hmm. The Last Supper is a roll-up for all intents and purposes, and it is a signature move for him. So he's taken roll-up as a word back, and he's using it against us. But that really wasn't the end. So Darby got his win with the Last Supper, but then out comes Scorpio Sky. Out comes Ethan Page. Out comes Lance Archer, Sting, everybody in the world. So we have a huge brawl. I don't know what's going on with the Sting and Lance Archer thing, and Jake the Snake Roberts. Who knows what's going on there? But a lot of commotion at the end of Dynamite. And this week we have another match.
Yeah, I was gonna say lead right into it because Darby he called himself out after Revolution was the name of last year because he knew he wasn't being a defending champion, a fighting champion, what that belt was supposed to be. So this is going to be the 3rd week in a row, correct? Because you had Matt, and now you had Jungle Boy, and now you're going to have Preston Vance.
That's right.
So the Dark Order's going to get a shot. Well, John Silver had a shot too, right? Didn't John Silver have a shot? This is the 4th time since. So Ryan Joy is our senior AEW correspondent and current belt holder of the Impact World Championship. Well, your guy is, not you, but Darby's got to retain on this one, right? This is.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be nice to see Preston Vance getting a good showing here, but Darby Allin's going to win this match.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, I'm sure he will have a good showing, but this one's pretty obvious.
John DeConnie.
Yes, I believe that Darby will retain, although I wouldn't mind seeing Vance get really, really close after maybe -1 hits Darby Allin with a kendo stick.
There you go.
But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Preston Vance... No, see, that's how you guys sounded last week.
Jungle Boy
that's
is way
why
more
I love
over
you
than-
guys. We don't all think alike, and that's what the show is about. It's different opinions. It's all great. Speaking of different opinions, James Wheeler's got an idea for Blood and Guts. The Elite versus Moxley, Kingston, and the Death Triangle. Book it now. So maybe next year?
Yeah.
That would be a cluster bleep. That's too many big names. That's a cluster bleep.
Yeah. John DeConnie, the AEW Women's Championship was on the line, and Tay Conti, who was the #1 contender, and she's been working her tail off, and she's been very well. And is that NXT graduate, Mae Young Classic, and she knows how to go, and that match did not disappoint at all.
No, that match was pretty fantastic. There were a couple of excuse me, a couple of big time bumps. At one point, Cheetah hit something that Excalibur, I believe, referred to as the witch's shot, where she had Ty Conti up. She's standing second buckle. She got Ty Conti in a fireman's carry, and she just flips her spine first onto the top buckle and whatnot, and she bounced to the floor. That was nasty. But Conti would she'd get herself back together. She'd roll in. She hits the Thai KO. She only gets 2 out of it. So she goes for the DD Thai, but she reverses that into a backpack pile driver and pinning combination for a 2 count. And eventually Sheeta would hit that nasty spinning knee that I believe they call the katana. She would get the 3 count, but this was 12 plus minutes in a women's match, which about a year ago, a 12-minute women's match would have had me pulling my hair out what little I have left. This match was fantastic. I have no complaints other than the fact that Ty Conti didn't win, but it was a fantastic match.
Yeah, and I don't think you have any complaints going forward because after that match was over, I believe our good doctor friend, our favorite dentist, came out and she pointed herself up one more in the standings. I believe she's up next, and it just so happens to be their biggest pay-per-view of the calendar year at the end of the next month. So it's funny how these things work out. So the good doctor will hopefully be getting her championship match at Double or Nothing. John Smith, your best friend Penta, there you go. He had a match with Trent.
Yeah, it was.
Who?
Wait.
The question, bro, even the ring announcer, Justin Robin. I think that was the first time he did it too. It was like Trent with the question mark.
I know. I think it was the first time I've ever actually paid attention to him being announced. Because when he said Trent, I was like, "What? Did he just say?" Anyway, but the match was awesome. Great chain wrestling throughout. Nobody looked weak this entire match. And then the what's his name? The guy, the Spanish announce guy that's talking for Penta right now.
Hugo Savinovich.
Alex.
Yeah, he's Hugo Savinovich. Did you say?
They're him or Tino. They're the two Spanish guys I know. I'm sorry.
His name is Alex Abrahantes.
Okay, so he starts taunting Trent, and then Orange Cassidy gets involved, and after all the confusion, Penta ends up hitting the package pile driver for the win, as he should.
There you go, and he's got right up next. He's going right through the best friends, I guess. He's got Orange Cassidy, John Smith, or is that Kyle O'Reilly?
I guess I'm gonna go with Orange Cassidy in this one, but I think this is just leading towards something bigger at a pay-per-view, so it could go either way. I think the story's just gonna keep developing through this match.
There's a 3-on-3 in this, the Death Triangle and the best friends. I don't know if maybe they can find a female. I know that was discussed on the Daily Wrestling News Show, Ryan, but who do you got in this one now?
I'm gonna take Penta. I could see it going either way, but I'll take Penta.
I got Penta running the gauntlet here. I got him beating Chuck Taylor next week too, John DeConnie.
I'm going to take Orange Cassidy because nothing's on here, and it just kind of seems like the thing that'll happen. But I'm very much looking forward to hopefully the Triangle finding a female, so we get the Mambo de Lata.
Anyone in particular you're looking for?
Who was it? Evil Leaks just got bounced. So
Evil released.
Former partner there.
Diamante.
Diamante.
Or Zelina Vega, right? That's what Travis wants.
Yeah, Zelina, that would be fantastic. But I think wherever she goes, I think if she's being held out at this point, maybe she's waiting for the 90 days to be up on Andrade so they can show up together somewhere. So my thought is she probably won't show up immediately as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm. It would be fun to have her with Penta and Phoenix, as the mouthpiece for those two. I think that would be a lot of fun. Anyways, Christian Cage, the instant classic. Outwork everybody. Outwork Powerhouse Hobbs. Got the kill switch at the end. Done and done. It's only a matter of time before he beats Kenny Omega. That's right. Ryan, you're right. Christian Cage is going to be the one that beats Kenny Omega, so that's the reason why he's there. Hangman Page defeated Ricky Starks after a blatant chokehold. I channeled Bobby Heenan on that. Was a blatant chokehold monsoon. There was a Heenan or Ventura on that one. Page and Cage tomorrow. I got the I guess I do. I have the graphic on one. So we got Hangman Page and Brian Cage. Ryan, you talked about this morning, and I'll agree with you on this one. A lot of these matches, they've been a little one-sided lately, the booking on AEW. I haven't really appreciated it as much as you guys do. This one's a tough call, but it seems like Page is going to the moon, but Brian Cage, he's jacked. So where do we go with this one here, Ryan?
I'm picking Adam Page because he's 8-0, and I don't think he's going to lose any matches until he faces Kenny Omega and eventually takes that championship away. But it's going to be an interesting finish to this match because I don't think that Adam Page is going to pick up Brian Cage for Deadeye, and I just can't see Brian Cage doing that, flipperoo when when Paige hits him with the buckshot lariat. So I think it'll be an interesting finish to this. I think it's might be a roll up. So
I can picture Adam Cage's arm breaking off when he hits the buckshot lariat, John DeConnie, on Brian Cage. That's not
exactly. Maybe that little that submission we saw him use last week on Starks was to get us to go, oh, okay, he's a submission. He can pull off a submission too. Maybe that's what happens in this match too, because I think in any other company, this probably is a no contest. There's probably some kind of schmaz ending where the Dark Order and Team Taz are out here, but because it's AEW, that's just not legal. So I think Hangman Page takes it. I'm not quite sure how. If I had to guess, maybe that submission again, he locks in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hangman Page right now. I agree with he's just not losing. So it's an interesting matchup, but again, I just feel like there's some of these matches. Page is the guy right now. Hangman Page they're building him back up to be the guy again. Pinnacle did a backstage segment. Inner Circle did an in-ring promo. They are set for Blood and Guts, which is a match that apparently will be too big for just 1 hour, as it is the only match booked for that show that night. We will be discussing and picking that match next week. There is a parlay tomorrow night. I have no idea what that means. I don't know how you can do a parlay with one match on a card, but I guess anything's possible in professional wrestling. So QT Marshall, he defeated Billy Gunn after a cutter, but after a punch by Anthony Ogogo. Dustin came out to stop the post-match attack with a chair, hit the guy Camarado, hit him in the head with it, completely shattered the wooden chair, so that was tough. That chair was just pencils after that. So we have a 6-man tag team match. There goes AEW. Well, that's their own thing, right? 6-man tag team matches. AEW is a 6-man tag team match tonight. We have the Nightmare Family represented by Dustin Rhodes, Lee Johnson, and who? Ryan? I'm missing somebody.
Oh, Dustin.
Billy Gunn.
Oh yeah, Banner Piff. Come on, Billy. How did I forget Billy Gunn?
Yeah, Billy.
Going against the Factory, which is QT Marshall, Camarado, and Han Solo's son, Aaron.
There you go.
Ryan Joy, who do you like?
Well, the Factory got the win last week, so I'll give it to the family this week.
All right, John Smith.
Hey, I get to give you a pick on this match. Cool.
I didn't get to the last one.
Yeah, I don't care. It's
Hangman Page or Brian Cage.
Well, I was going to say that the Page thing has the Raw roll-up written all over it. I was going to just agree with you, Ryan.
That's why
in this one, I got the heels in this one because they're a new faction, and I think they need to stay strong looking, and they can win however they want to win. It's just I think they got to keep winning for now.
Anthony Ogogo, I think that'll be the wrench in the plans here for the Nightmare Family. He's going to be at ringside. He was a factor last week. He knocked out Billy Gunn, and now maybe he does it again, John DeConnie?
Yeah, I think that's probably the way this goes. Give me the heels.
All right. Miro, he did a video package, blatantly put, he wants gold, so he's calling out all champions. I think Darby is in trouble at Double or Nothing. He hasn't heard from Kip, but Kip will be at ringside as his beautiful bride, Penelope Ford, faces AEW's resident alien, Chris Statlander, John Smith. What do you got in this one?
Statlander. This is her first match back, right?
I think so.
2 or
Second.
3. She's had a bunch on Dark too. So
There you go. Her first night on Dynamite. Yeah.
She's not going to lose anytime soon. I don't think so. Yeah.
She was on fire before she got injured, John DeConnie.
True. Yeah. I think Statlander is definitely headed up the rankings. So give me the alien.
Now, if history serves me correctly, Ryan, so there's the best friends with Kip and Sadie. That's one part of this. I believe Statlander was supposed to get the title shot that where she got hurt, Penelope Ford filled in for and shined, by the way.
yes.
I remember that match very, very vividly. That match was incredible. Up until the Ty Conti match, I thought that was the greatest women's championship match in that company's short history. But there's a lot behind this match.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of history they're paying off here with what you just mentioned. Also, Chris Statlander beat Amber Nova on Dynamite a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot about it. Well, she forgot about us, so we forgot about her. Fair's fair.
So Chris Statlander is going to win this match for sure. But the point you made earlier about Miro, I think Darby may want to watch his 6, but also I like the idea of Jon Moxley, him going after Jon Moxley for that U.S. title that he's carrying around from New Japan. That could be a fun little crossover.
All right, so Rusev. Oh, I would like to see Rusev. Oh my God, Rusev versus Minoru Suzuki. Yes. Jade Cargill doesn't need a manager. So with that, she's looking for a manager.
Yeah.
She's her own boss, but she'll listen to offers, I guess. And that was the main point. The Young Bucks are having a tag team eliminator tournament against the Seidel's. I guess this is a Bullet Club thing. Kenny Omega's done numerous championship eliminator matches where it's a non-title match. If you get pinned, then you give the person a championship match. If that person does not win, then they are completely out of the title picture. So, John Smith, you're going to give the Seidel brothers against the Buck brothers.
Is there baby oil on the ropes?
What's
Good
that?
question.
There always is.
Baby oil or not? I got the Bucks winning this one.
Still taking shots at Matt. Okay, all right. Some things because great moments die hard, right, John DeConnie?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, give me the Bucks here. I don't know why they keep calling these things eliminators, but the Bucks win this non-title matchup.
Because if the Seidels lose, they are eliminated from that title's contention. They're done. They're not allowed to challenge for them.
Never again.
Not during this title reign.
Okay.
This was explained with Kenny Omega. Why is everyone having a problem when the Bucks are doing it? Kenny Omega's done it 5 times already, Ryan.
I didn't understand it when he was doing it either.
Well, I think it made more sense in the Omega situation because the Omega situation, there was an eliminator tournament, and like he was defending against Joey Janela, who couldn't appear in the tournament, and other things. That's what they're calling a match against the non-title match against the champion from now on. That's what it's going to be called.
And then if you lose, you are eliminated from defending for that champion. No, it makes complete sense.
Now, John Smith made a point about the baby oil. Now, this is actually important because Nakazawa's in that little faction with Kenny Omega. So,
It's about
could come along again. But the Bucks are going to win this match for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's just a long way to get all the way back to Germany, Max Buck. So we're going to curtains and main event the show. It's not curtains. We're going to main event the show for the first time ever. We're going to lay the smacketh down in the main event with 2 huge championship matches. Before we get there, just a quick little rundown. The Mysterios got the win over the Alpha Academy with a 619, followed by a frog splash by Rey Mysterio on Chad Gable. And that pretty much positions them. I want to say they are now the number 1 contenders for Rude and Ziggler. I know the Street Profits, they lost last week. They were beefing at Ziggy and Rude. But I think it's the Mysterios' time now. They got that match. The Street Profits lost last week. So I would say look for the Mysterios to get the next shot. Bianca Belair has Bayley at Backlash. Start saying that 5 times fast. In 2 weeks. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Brian Joy, you wanted to make sure you rewatched Tamina and Nia Jax to report on this momentous occasion where the crowd seems to be extremely behind Tamina as of late. Shout out Ben Sherman.
Now, the minutes to bell time rating system has been suspended during the COVID, but if it was active, we would not be rating this match because it was so short. But 2.5 minutes. At one point, Tamina reaches through the ropes and just barely taps Shayna Baszler on the back, and Shayna falls on the ground, and then she gets up and she blames Reggie for this big affair, and then Nia's like she gets distracted, and then Tamina hits her with a super kick, rolls her up for the win, and things continue. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Summed up beautifully. Aleister Black is back. Yes! So he read us chapter 1 of his favorite bedtime story, I guess. He called everybody something bad. None of this matters. Aleister Black is back. Buddy Murphy is also on SmackDown. Can we please go back to our monthly Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy matches. Please. Thank you, Vince McMahon. That's all we want. That would be a perfect first feud for this new Aleister Black. Apollo Crews defeated Kevin Owens. Here you go, SmackDown ripping off Raw with a roll-up after KO was distracted by Commander Aziz. And Apollo now retained the Intercontinental Championship, but that was not the biggest story of the match. Aziz hit the, whatever he's called, the Nigerian nail, shot out to Umaga, hit the Nigerian nail on Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn comes off the announce table into the ring and proceeds. The MCU, all right, for those who watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, everyone went nuts when Baron Zemo was dancing in that club in Magic War for like 5 seconds. Sami Zayn says, "Hold my beer," and does like a 2-minute like ska dance thing. Oh my God, please, if you haven't watched SmackDown, please just watch Sami Zayn dance over a prone Kevin Owens. It is completely worth your minute and 30 seconds of time. It is absolutely incredible. But actually, one of the two big championship matches after that was over. Big E completely jumped Apollo Crews backstage. Commander Aziz, I guess he was in the locker room doing something. I don't know what he was doing. I forget what they said. But Big E is getting his Intercontinental Championship rematch from WrestleMania. It is not a Nigerian drum match. This will be a straight-up wrestling match where Big E is, I believe, 4 of those 6 wins are against Apollo Crews. So John Smith, as we all know, is tough to beat a team 5 times in the same season. But it's a new season. That's the kicker here. It is a new season. Yes, it is. So who do you got in this one?
I think this is finally going to be the period on the end of their long feud, and Apollo's going to take it with the help of, what's his name? Aziz?
Commander Aziz.
Word.
All right. John DeConnie.
Yeah, give me Apollo here to retain, and then Big E can, I don't know, be off TV for a couple weeks and then maybe find his way into the main event picture.
All right, Ryan.
Yep, Apollo Crews wins. It's a protected finish, the Nigerian nail or something like that he gets hit with, so that he can lose the Intercontinental Championship match and move on to something a little higher.
Okay, I'm completely in agreement with that. The show started, John DeConnie. Seth Rollins blamed the rain delay for his loss at WrestleMania, and you know what? You laugh at that. Talk to a Major League Baseball pitcher after a rain delay. They don't like it either. So you know what? Seth Rollins has a little bit of validation here that his game was thrown off a little bit by the rain on night 1 of WrestleMania. So Cesaro was in the ring. Rollins came out. And then here comes Jey Uso. Rollins, I guess, is kind of a Star Wars fan. He took Jey Uso. All right, listen. Cesaro's got the high ground here. We got to circle around and attack him from the side. So then here comes Daniel Bryan, and then I guess Teddy Long, Roman Reigns came out, did his thing. He had some stuff to say. But then I heard Teddy Long. Make this a tag match, player.
Yeah, Roman Reigns came out, called them both losers, and they went to commercial break. And when we came back, they apparently had all 4 people, Seth, Jay, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro, had been brawling through the break. Little Nate gets just enough control over the situation to separate them real quick and start the actual tag match. It goes through a second commercial break where right at the end there, so Rollins finds himself in a sharpshooter. This is a nice long match, and at that point, Rollins realizes, I don't need this. He just takes off, leaving Jey Uso behind, and D-Bry hits the running knee. About 19-minute match. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan get the win. And Daniel Bryan gets on the mic. Hey, Roman, we beat up your cousin here. And if there's anyone, and no one works harder than Cesaro, Cesaro deserves a title shot. Are you going to do it? No word from Roman. So Jey Uso goes for a spin. Daniel Bryan continues to goat Roman Reigns. No response. Jey Uso goes for another spin. That's the end of that segment. Still no answer from Roman. Later on, Bryan gets in Pierce's ear backstage, telling him, Cesaro deserves a shot. Are you going to make it happen? Pierce says, have you been paying attention here? I can't snap my fingers and make this stuff happen. I'm working on it. Give me some time. And then we get Kayla. She corners Heyman later. Are we going to get an answer from Roman? Your tribal chief will answer you later on in the evening. We get all the way to the end of the night. Cesaro heads down to the ring with Daniel Bryan. Right after the Mysterios and Alpha match. In fact, they didn't even, wait for everybody to clear the ring. They were already headed down to the ring. Roman finally decides to grace us with his presence. He gets in the ring. We're all waiting to hear Roman answer whether or not he is going to take on Cesaro. And Roman gets in the ring and says, basically, who the hell are you? You don't deserve this. He turns his attention to Daniel Bryan. I don't like you. I don't like the way you look. I don't like the way you smell. Whatever he said to him. I think the phrase was the champ picks the next challenger. So I pick you, Daniel Bryan. And when I beat you, I never want to see you on my show again. And that leads us to this week.
And that's it. Is this not brilliant of Daniel Bryan? He did reverse psychology to get himself another Universal Championship match. And that's what the big main event of this week, Friday Night SmackDown. Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the big dog. He's putting the Universal title on the line against Daniel Bryan. If Daniel Bryan loses, he's gone from SmackDown. So, John DeConnie, you just have extensive reporting. Roman was pissed when he came out at the end. I thought that was a great match to open the show between Cesaro and Daniel Bryan and Rollins and Jey. Absolutely great match. It was a lot of fun. The star power in that match was great. But who do you have in the Universal Championship match?
Yeah, I see Daniel Bryan getting some time off here before either showing back up as an agent backstage or hopefully going over to Raw because I don't think he's done yet. But I sure don't see him beating Roman Reigns.
All right, Ryan Joy.
Roman Reigns. I'm not sure what Daniel Bryan does next, but Roman Reigns for sure.
I can answer that. John Smith.
I definitely got Roman Reigns. Maybe Daniel Bryan goes to NXT.
Oh, that'd be fun. I didn't think of that. So, yeah, I think Roman's never losing this thing. I still don't know who's going to beat Roman Reigns. So I'm taking him. But now this begs the question. So do you have to play NXT's an option? And Daniel Bryan goes to Raw. So are we going to make this? Is he going to weasel his way into the triple threat match and make it a fatal four-way at WrestleMania Backlash? I think that's where we're going. Daniel Bryan's going after the WWE title after this. This is all part of the plan. This is all part of Daniel Bryan's sick environmental plan.
I can hear BJ's head exploding from here.
All right, so that will do it with SmackDown. This was an absolutely fun episode, a great episode. Let's just take care of some of the announcements here. The Primetime Rundown is back on Friday nights at 6 o'clock. Please join Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca on Friday nights at 6 p.m. They'll take you through all the wide world of sports right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. For more information, please go to theeasternobserver.com. Tune in Monday through Thursday and sometimes Friday for the Daily Wrestling News Show at 10 a.m. and get your morning cup of joy with Ryan and his band of merry co-hosts, all right here on the Eastern Observer platforms. Ryan, I do believe you have a guest Friday, a special guest on the Friday episode.
Yeah, Kim Artlett from Ignite. She returns to the show. We're going to talk about the new women's tag team titles, her new undisputed championship belt, and whatever else we think to talk about. But Ignite Wrestling.
So we're going all 5 days this week. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning to get your NXT recap and Dynamite preview with John DeConnie, I believe, is on tomorrow, correct?
Correct.
Correct. The Body Slam Brigade newsletter, over 4,100, right, Ryan?
Yeah, over 4,100 people are subscribing to this weekly letter, and it's a great way to recap yourself. If you don't watch everything, but you want to know what's going on, This gives you the bullet points, the highlights. It's free. BodySlamBrigade.com to sign up.
It is for Ryan, for free, for you. I always say it's a great toilet bowl read. I haven't, my finger, my left hand is just, it's out of control. I haven't been able to read on the toilet, so. But it definitely is, for those of you who have 10 working digits, definitely check it out while you're sitting on the can doing some business. The Black Hats NYC, their new album, Free Cake, as always, is available now on Deezer, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, on all of your music platforms. Please go and download the second album by the Black Hats NYC. It is called Free Cake. Then there's ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Please join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool. Make your picks for all of the promotions that are stateside, plus the UK. We haven't gotten to New Japan yet. But Impact, AEW, WWE, NXT, NXT UK, please join the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool and play against us. Try to bring Gary down a peg. The guy's from overseas, and he's kicking our ass with Impact. It's the craziest thing. Or you can actually just, if you want, you can start a pool with your friends. Nobody will interfere. You can do whatever you want to do. As I said, it's at ProWrestlingPick'em.com. You can be very brand specific with your shows too. If you just want to do NXT, you can just do NXT. If you just want to do AEW, you can do that as well. You are in control of what shows you pick. But please join in the fun. It's a lot of fun, especially if you play against us. We have a lot of fun with it. And then join us back here next week for episode 52. We are at 1 year, actually the day before our 1 year anniversary last year. Our show debuted on Cinco de Mayo. This year we're on Cinco de Cuatro. Doesn't have as much fun as Cinco de Mayo is, but we will be back for episode 52 to celebrate 1 year of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. We hope you join us for that. So that will do it. John DeConnie, anything before you leave?
No, just I don't want you to downplay next week. It won't be Cinco de Mayo, but May the 4th be with you.
That's right. It's not Cinco de Cuatro. It's May the 4th. There we go. And I even made a Star Wars reference today too. He's got the high ground. Yeah, you don't want to end up like Vader did. Brian Joy.
Nothing for you.
Awesome. That's why you're the best journalist we got, Ryan. John Smith.
I'm still undefeated in the PWP pool.
Yeah, honestly,
my losses don't count.
Who's going to get injured during the match? You would pick Myers, right? It makes sense.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, much for joining us. Alexa Bliss, can't wait to see you back in the ring. Go get that Raw Women's title, girl. Tegan, what was it? Caddyshack? We're waiting.
Well, we're waiting.
She's hanging out with Captain Marvel. Come on, let's go, Tegan. Let's get to this. Let's go. John DeConnie, take us home.
Thank you for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
See, when you turn your body to the left, my whole body like cracked.